Attention, open your mind to a message that can radically change your life's path. These are not mere words, but concentrated truth, intended for those who are ready to hear. Premature departure will deprive you of the opportunity to perceive key information. Stay until the end to experience a deep emotional resonance, a kind of call of destiny. Listen to yourself, ignoring external voices. Let nothing shake your self-confidence, break your spirit with other people's words, because your inner essence is known only to you. The path you have traveled, the difficulties overcome, and the silence you have kept are known. Who has the right to judge without seeing the scars? Don't let other people's opinions influence you, because criticism is recognition. Recognition that you are visible, that you are moving forward and radiating a light that can blind those in the shadows. You were not created for silence and humility, your nature is to fly, even if someone tried to clip your wings. For those born under the sign of Pisces, a moment of truth is coming when the ghost of the past materializes in the present. A figure that once left an indelible mark on their lives will reappear on the horizon, like an unfinished chapter in the book of fate. This is not a simple coincidence, but rather a pattern, a return to the origins, an attempt by fate to settle accounts with the past. This person, like a lost wanderer, will return with repentance on their lips, with apologies imbued with sincerity, and with a naked soul, ready to reveal all secrets. They will bring with them words that they did not dare to say before, the truth that they hid behind a mask of silence. However, Pisces should remember that their return is not a guarantee of a happy ending. The sincerity of their repentance does not mean that they deserve a second chance. Pisces, having gone through the thorns of pain and disappointment, have learned to recognize lies and not to forgive those who played with their feelings. They have gained the wisdom to let go of those who did not appreciate their care, and to close the doors to the past, even if it causes emotional pain. Now they face a dilemma: to repeat old mistakes, stumbling over the same stone, or to demonstrate their new strength and independence. Will they be able to make the right decision, based on experience and intuition, or will they succumb to the temptation to return to the past, risking disappointment again? Fate persistently signals the need to slow down, to abandon the hectic race, to realize that running away is not a universal solution, and a smile cannot hide all experiences. There are times when it is extremely important to pause, to turn to your inner world, to listen to the voice of because the heart, like an overloaded traveler, is exhausted under the burden of worries and trials. And although outwardly it may seem that the personality radiates strength and steadfastness, deep down it knows that in the silence of the night it sometimes crumbles into fragments. If it is about romantic relationships, now is the decisive moment. Do not postpone it, you must immediately reveal all the cards. You should openly talk about your feelings, anxieties, and discomfort. You cannot continue to suppress words that can eventually explode like a time bomb. The truth, no matter how painful it may be, brings liberation. And if there is a desire to preserve the relationship, sincerity is a key condition. Otherwise, an explosion is inevitable. At the same time, you should be especially vigilant, because in the coming days, malevolent statements will fly like sharp blades. Words that can knock you down and make you feel worthless, but you should not succumb to this influence. It is important to remember your worth, what has been given, endured, and healed. You cannot allow anyone to encroach on your personal dignity, because the one who tries to do this does not deserve even fleeting attention. Before moving on, it is necessary from the bottom of your heart, with a burning heart and unwavering faith in your strength, to declare to all, I am stronger than any past, and no one will ever stop me. Repeat this over and over again, feel every word, declare it aloud. Let the whole universe hear your voice, let there be no shadow of a doubt in your awakening, for the coming events are of great importance. A moment is coming when your soul must make a choice, to continue to carry the burden that no longer serves it, or to free itself from it once and for all. Those born under the sign of Pisces, known for their extraordinary sensitivity, sometimes mistakenly take this trait for weakness. However, this is far from the case. The true strength of Pisces lies in their intuition, in their ability to penetrate to the very essence of things, to see what is hidden from the eyes of others. They foresee events even before they happen, and this, despite possible suffering, is their divine gift. At the same time, this ability can become a double-edged sword if you do not learn how to use it properly. Pisces often exhibit excessive tolerance, preferring to remain silent and understanding towards others while neglecting their own needs. They deplete themselves to fill others, stay where they should have left long ago, and give countless chances to those who don't deserve even one. The reason for this behavior lies in their belief that everyone is capable of change, that there is a spark of goodness in every person. However, the reality is that not everyone possesses this gift. The reappearance in a Pisces life of someone from the past who is knocking on their door again is a serious test. This person may still evoke strong feelings and stir the soul, but that doesn't mean they should reopen the doors of their heart. It's necessary to observe, listen, and feel, but from a position of strength, relying on newfound experience and self-understanding. Pisces, who no longer idolize love, must make decisions based on their own feelings, not under pressure from circumstances or the requests of others. Forgiveness should be free, sincere, and dictated solely by inner conviction. When the decision comes to end a certain stage of life, it must be done with dignity and confidence. There's no need to cloud the departure with anger or hidden resentment. It's important to remember that a person who has overcome difficulties and managed to recover independently is no longer the one who once failed. This week, Pisces may find that some experiences have become more acute. This isn't a sign of weakness, but rather evidence of shedding outdated beliefs and habits. The process of transformation is often accompanied by discomfort, but it's necessary because it reminds them that their former way of life no longer meets their needs. Personal evolution is a natural process, and it's necessary to set boundaries, even if it causes inner trepidation or guilt. It's important to realize that everyone deserves care, respect, and unconditional acceptance. Energy shouldn't be wasted on those who aren't capable of appreciating it. An important period is beginning in the life of Pisces, when there is a change in the energy field. Now is the time for change and moving forward. Anything that doesn't resonate with the inner world will inevitably fail. Whether it's people, situations, or ingrained habits, this process can be painful, but ultimately it will bring liberation, a sense of lightness, clarity, and strength. And if a feeling of loneliness arises during this period of transformation, it's important to remember, a person is never alone. Intuition, spiritual guides, and signs of fate are always nearby. One just needs to quiet down and listen to them. Trust your intuition, because when it seems like everything is falling apart, it's a harbinger of a new birth. Representatives of the sign of Pisces are closer than they think to understanding, liberation, and the beginning of a new life. But to achieve this goal, it's necessary to be extremely honest with oneself, which, as we know, is not always easy. For many years, people have carried the burden of unspoken words, avoided decisions, and places that no longer correspond to their inner world, but which they continue to visit out of habit. How long will Pisces continue to put themselves second? How long will they deny the obvious? Within them, a force awakens, a voice whispering that they deserve more, that they were not created for half measures and did not come into this world to settle for little. And they know this, although sometimes they are afraid to admit it, because recognition entails the need to make decisions, move forward, and leave behind what hurts but no longer nourishes. Not everything that hurts is love, and not everything that Pisces yearn for has brought them good. Sometimes it's just the emptiness of habit, nostalgia for what didn't happen. You can't continue to feed the ghosts of the past and wait for someone to come and give what a person doesn't give themselves. Life constantly sends signs, and how many more signals are needed to understand this? Imagine how many more times fate will make you feel the same poignant feeling. How many sleepless nights will you spend silently shedding tears in the dark, telling yourself that everything is fine, while your inner self screams from fatigue and despair? But there comes a moment when it's necessary to say a decisive enough. Enough sacrificing your own interests for the good of others. Enough putting off moments of joy and satisfaction for later. It's time to stop hiding the heartache behind a strained smile. No longer is it necessary to play the role of an unwavering force when the only thing the soul sincerely desires is an embrace full of compassion and acceptance, without a hint of condemnation or guilt. Inevitably, there will be those who try to poison your existence with their caustic remarks. People whose words are born out of ignorance and misunderstanding will criticize and project their own suffering onto you. But let me remind you, don't take on a burden that doesn't belong to you. Don't let someone else's poison seep into your soul as if it were your own. You know your true essence and worth. And those who refuse to see your value, let them turn away and go their own way. For you are on a path of profound and transformative change, and only those who have reached your level of awareness will be able to share this journey with you. Everything that doesn't resonate with your inner world, doesn't bring benefit, or doesn't show due respect will gradually disappear from your life. This will happen not because of deliberate efforts, but because your inner energy will no longer support these connections. And while this process may be painful, it will ultimately lead to liberation. The universe is as if saying, enough suffering. It's time to choose yourself, and this choice will be final, there is no turning back. An inner transformation is taking place, the former personality is receding into the past. It is being replaced by an updated version, stronger, more confident, and freer. It is necessary to open your heart to change, because even if everything seems chaotic now, this is exactly the moment when you need to make a choice, continue to live as before or start writing a new chapter in your life. The answer is already known, you just need to remember it. All that was needed was a push, a voice that would shake you up and restore awareness of your true worth and what you deserve. You can't get distracted, lose confidence, or betray yourself. Life is giving a clear signal, and it's time to respond to it. When every word echoes inside, when you feel an inexplicable movement in your soul, you can't stop. This is a spark that breaks the shackles, indicating that it can't wait any longer. Your destiny is not to stand still, watching others decide your fate. Your destiny is to create, to love, to live life to the fullest, even if it hurts. The soul is limitless, and you can no longer allow yourself to shrink to fit other people's expectations, to settle for half-hearted love, a job that extinguishes you, or friendships that have no room for understanding. It's time for deep and sincere self-analysis. Not for self-flagellation or beating yourself up, but for getting to know yourself, accepting yourself with all your strengths and weaknesses. It's time to say to yourself, I'm here, and this time I won't betray myself. After all, how many times has a person put themselves off until later, pushed their own interests into the background? How many times have they waited for someone else to choose them first before daring to make a choice in their own favor? How often have they allowed other people's voices to drown out their own inner voice? But it's time to put an end to this, because life itself is insistently calling you to act now. It calls you to dare, to jump into the unknown, to destroy everything that no longer corresponds to your true needs. Enough lying to yourself, because the most agonizing lie is not the one that comes from others, but the one that a person tells themselves when they know the truth but deny it out of fear. However, fear should not define their life, should not be their support. Fear, when faced, transforms into strength, and this strength awaits them on the other side. You don't need to strive for perfection, you don't need to have answers to all the questions. It is important to be brave, and bravery is undoubtedly present inside every person, even if it is dormant, hidden deep in the soul, silent, but alive as never before. Meeting a person from the past, the persistent return of old memories, unresolved knots, all this has one goal, to point out what still holds a person captive, what they have not yet completely let go of, what continues to control them, based on old wounds, not on lessons learned. From now on, her gaze is clear. The veil has fallen, and the truth stands in all its nakedness. Having gained knowledge, she is no longer able to look away, pretending not to notice the obvious. Awakening has come, and although it is associated with pain, this newfound clarity gives her power. The power to make informed decisions, to love, outlining the boundaries of what is permissible, to heal, without relying on anyone's support. It's time for Pisces to trust the course of events, because there is no chaos devoid of meaning, no fall that does not bring a lesson, no loss that does not free up space for something new. And although today she is in the eye of the storm, she is being prepared to meet the brightest sun she has ever seen. Let tears flow, if necessary, let a cry burst out, if it squeezes the chest, let her give free rein to her feelings, because this is also an integral part of healing. But don't dwell on this, lock yourself away, hide from the world, because the light of Pisces is created to shine even among the ruins. A new chapter awaits her, but it will not arise by itself, it will not knock on the door. She has to write it herself, create it with every decision, every firm, no more, every conscious, I want this in my life. Fate leaves no choice, it merely points the way. Even when the heart is full of doubt, an inner readiness has already awakened. A soul that feels discomfort yearns to leave familiar shores, craving new horizons and uncharted possibilities. And Pisces undoubtedly deserves more than what she has now. Therefore, there is no point in looking back, tormenting oneself with questions about the past. What happened is now history, and what is gone was meant to leave, making room for something new. The pain experienced in the past has become a valuable lesson, and the future, full of hope, will be chosen with wisdom and insight. A new door opens before Pisces, offering a chance she has long awaited. If she has reached this point, it means her soul has already agreed to the changes. Pisces has reached the finish line, and this is not a coincidence but a pattern, an inevitability. The words she heard were not just a message but a mirror, a portal, a call that her soul had been waiting for an eternity. She felt it from the very beginning, from the first sound. Now, she should take a deep breath, feel how this message resonated within, how something broke, was released, and set in motion. Changes have already begun. This is not trivial but a personal truth, creating echoes in the surrounding world. It's an awakening of the essence, freeing itself from the burden of the past. It is the voice of the heart, urging her not to forget about herself. This choice will undoubtedly require sacrifices, as the pursuit of self-realization is not always met with understanding. There may be those who cannot accept this path, who choose to leave, and moments of doubt are inevitable. But in such moments, it is important to return to the awareness of one's worth, to the confidence that everyone deserves a life filled with inspiration, not fading away. Remember this when someone tries to suggest that expressions of personality are excessive, too many feelings, too many desires, too many dreams. Do not succumb to these beliefs, because individuality is not an excess but an integral part of the self. The intensity, depth, and sincerity of emotions are what define uniqueness. And those who are not ready to accept it can leave, because there is no need to silence the voice of the soul to please others. The time of silence, adaptation, and contentment with little has come to an end. The era of living on autopilot is over. A new stage is coming, a period of conscious existence, when the world is perceived through different eyes, and the voice sounds confident. A stage when letting go happens without fear, choices are made by the heart, and personal interests come first without guilt. Do not be afraid of change and uncertainty, because a lack of certainty combined with self-belief opens up new horizons. Freedom from the past turns the future into a blank canvas, where each color symbolizes new opportunities. Therefore, open yourself to the world, express your feelings, follow your passions, and seek what ignites your inner fire. Existence is not just survival but enjoyment of life, true love, healing, and happiness. Looking back, you can see the path traveled, the difficulties overcome, and the experience gained. All of this was not in vain. Every tear, every doubt, every dark night led to this moment. All of life's vicissitudes led her to this revelation, and now, with an open heart listening to the words, she is ready to perceive the truth. Therefore, dear Pisces, do not evade the answer. What is it that she is finally ready to let go of and leave in the past? Let her tell the world about it, expressing her thoughts in the comments with unwavering confidence and without a hint of fear, as if performing an act of liberation. For by putting it on paper, she proclaims her will, and from that moment on, there will be no turning back. This is her personal rebirth, a new beginning, a long-awaited cry for freedom. And if these words resonated in her heart, touched the most secret corners of her soul, let her not hesitate for a second. She should subscribe to Pisces Horoscope Verde, because this exciting journey is just beginning, and something even more grandiose, powerful, and truly hers awaits her ahead. Fate will bring them together again very soon, but until then, Pisces, let her always choose herself.